Colonel, I think Trump is meeting, I think today, with Xi in South Korea, and apparently he's asking for them to, to block or limit some of those precursor chemicals going to Mexico, which maybe is involved in fentanyl. Obviously, trying to get a trade negotiation going there as well. What do you make of our relationships right now, or relations with China, and that whole tour right now in Asia?
Well, before we go to China, let's look at what just happened in Japan. Because he went there and he met with the new prime minister. The new prime minister is a hard right-wing nationalist. I have no problems with that. I salute everybody that wants to defend their country. That's fine with me. But the point is, she is very different from her predecessors. She was widely supported by the imperial bureaucracy, because that bureaucracy still reports to the emperor, though nobody talks about it. And they are all professionals, and they wanted her because they were tired of Abe sort of vacillating back and forth between what should or should not be done. And they absolutely did not want to bring in millions of people from the Middle East. They're not interested in that kind of immigration. So she meets with Donald Trump, and she tells Donald Trump, we're with you, we'll support you. Japan is already heavily invested in the United States. They've been invested here almost as long as the British. Now, they talked about more investment. Toyota has already stood up and said, I don't know what Donald Trump is talking about, saying we're going to invest billions of dollars in the United States. We're not going to do that. So I think some of the assumptions that he made after he was there are false. But she said, I will nominate you to be the next Nobel Peace Prize winner. And by the way, we bought you this wonderful set of golf clubs, probably the most expensive set of golf clubs in the world. And we so admire you and appreciate all that you've done. So he reduces the tariffs to 15%. And then he mentions oil and gas and says, well, we're very sorry, but we're very dependent on cheap energy here, and we will continue to buy our oil and gas from Russia. And oh, by the way, we're going to sign a peace treaty with Russia, because the Japanese never really did at the end of World War II. So 80 years later, they're going to sign a peace treaty. And he said, well, that's great. And he went on to Korea. Now, what do you learn from that? You learn that the way you deal with President Trump is that you flatter him. You cultivate him. You reassure him. You make modest deals on the side and then tell him that you're going to support him for the Nobel Peace Prize, and it looks like you can get pretty much what you want. Now he's in South Korea. The new government in South Korea, which I like very much, they're nationalists. They're really, you would call them liberal nationalists. And they privately really want us off the peninsula, because our presence on that peninsula is now no longer regarded as protection. It's seen as a potential catalyst for war with China. Neither Japan nor Korea want any hostile relations with China. One of the reasons for all the wars that were fought between the Japanese and the Chinese was that the Chinese would not admit the Japanese to their markets unless the Japanese paid tribute to the imperial Chinese government. And the Japanese were not going to pay tribute to the Chinese emperor. Well, that's gone. Xi opened it up, gave them full access to the Chinese economy. They don't want that to change. Neither does South Korea. Both Japan and South Korea, their biggest trading partner is China. Do they feel threatened by China? Not militarily. There's no evidence that they see that the Chinese want to invade their countries. And the Japanese have made it abundantly clear they have no intention of ever going back into China. That was the mistake that everybody made in Russia in World War II. Why do you want to go into the place? Big mistake. So I don't know what President Trump is going to get, but I think he'll get the kind of treatment that he got in Tokyo. And then he'll come out and tell us, oh, this is great, this is wonderful, you're 100% on board. In Asia, everyone is waiting around patiently for us to leave. It's been 80 years since the end of the Second World War. What are we doing there?
Yeah.
They want to do business with us, but they don't want our military power all over the place. And in Washington, everyone will say, oh, no, that's not true. They all fear China. They need us. No, it's not true. Talk to the Indonesians, the Malays, the Vietnamese. Everyone's the same way. You want to sail through the neighborhood periodically, that's fine. But we're not interested in provoking any wars with the Chinese. And they know how to deal with the Chinese. All of these people have lived together for thousands of years.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.